Well, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana and I'm here in my sunroom in our 1834 farmhouse in the woods of Northern Illinois. And this is my little corner of YouTube where I share what I've been knitting or sometimes crocheting and just making in general. I'm really excited that you guys are here to hang out with me and talk knitting. It's always fun when you can knit with a friend and even talk about knitting with a friend. As soon as I meet somebody in like real life walking around and I find out they knit, it's like sudden, instant attraction. Like, did we just become best friends? Because it's just the extra layer of friendship that kind of creates a deeper bond and a better relationship because you have more to talk about than just whatever brought you two together at first, whether it was kids or just you live in the same neighborhood or anything. So it's always really cool to hang out with you guys and just talk knitting. So I'm glad that you're here hanging out with me. Grab something cozy and get cozy. Find a little cozy corner of your house and I'm going to share my knits with you. So I am not wearing a sweater that I knit, sadly. I have learned that in this season of life that I'm in, I'm not a sweater knitter. It takes too long and I've been not pregnant for lots of years in a row. I have 4 children and sweaters are hard to knit and they're a lot of money. They're a big time commitment and one year I'll get back to sweater knitting, but this is just from Old Navy. I want my body to be a little more stable and I can actually wear something and not suddenly finish a sweater and then end up pregnant again or something like that. So yes, this is just from Old Navy. Today is Halloween, so I decided, I don't really dress up for Halloween, my kids do. I decided I'm going to throw this on over top and call myself a lumberjack while I take the kids trick-or-treating. I thought that was as creative as I was going to get with my costume. But I am wearing some knit socks that I'll show you. This is actually the most recent sock design that I wrote and published, and thank you guys so much for whether you were testing it or purchasing it and just loving it and sharing it. Every little thing that you want to do helps, even if it's just to press the little heart button when it shows up on Instagram. It gets it in front of more people. What I love about these socks and really every sock pattern that I make is, one, it's knit with worsted weight yarn, which makes the project go so fast. So first, thank you to my test knitters. You guys were amazing. And second, they are really fast knitters. I mean, this knits up so fast. I gave them 2 weeks to get a pair done. Several of them had 2 pairs off the needles and were ready to do some more, which makes it a really good Christmas gift knit, especially if you're like me and you've suddenly taken on a lot more projects than you really thought you were going to. It's a fast knit, and socks are so easy to customize because, I mean, your feet might be a little short, a little long, but other than that, there's not as much room to mess up as far as sizing as there is like if you were going to knit someone a sweater. I think it's very easy to gift socks knowing their shoe size and just kind of knowing their general shape of their body, what size sock they're going to need, and boom, it's knit and it's done with its worsted weight wool. And so I'm really excited. I knit these with, it's actually discontinued this yarn and I'm so sad because this is the first yarn that I had gotten from them, and I ended up going on and buying a second, 2 more skeins to make a second pair, which I haven't cast on yet, but I love the yarn so much I went on to go get it, and when I went to go get more, it said that it was being discontinued, and I was so sad, but I reached out to her and she did say yes, they're not going to be selling the worsted, the Aran weight anymore, but if you can, I'll put the link down below, and if you're interested, go check and see. They are all hand dyed, so the orange that I used was with onions, and then I ended up getting something that was with, I can't remember what they dyed it with, but it was called, the colorway was Bear Paw. So yeah, I'll put that link down below. See if they have anything left. It's so wonderful. It's not scratchy. It's all wool. It's like squishy. Like there's a bounce to it that even though there's no nylon in it, I've never come across a wool that's so bouncy and just like Oh, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. I love it. I don't usually wear orange, but I'm wearing orange today. It's the pumpkin patch cabin sock pattern. So, you know, naturally I did it in orange, and since it's Halloween, I had to wear them today. So that's what I'm wearing. I'll also put a link for the pattern. It is on Ravelry, Etsy, and on my website at thisyellowfarmhouse.com. So that's the only hand knit thing that I'm wearing today. And I am just drinking in my sweater weather cup. I love campfire mugs. They keep it nice and warm without burning your hands. Oh, what did I brew? It's from Trader Joe's, of course, and it was like autumn maple something. So it is seasonal. I don't think they have it all the time, and I can't remember what the something is, but it's autumn maple something. And it's really good. And then I just have regular creamer in it to make it this nice light color because I put a lot of creamer in my coffee. So anyway, outfit aside, coffee aside, I hope you have something warm and cozy to drink, and I'm going to show you my first project, which is a project that I've been working on for a while, but actually not. It's something I cast on a while ago, but when I say working on, I mean it's lived in my closet, untouched. I've thought about it. I have thought about it. Me and this project have had many thoughts together. It's probably thought many times, many very sad thoughts to me because it sees me picking up other projects. If you read The Yarn Harlot by Stephanie Pearl McPhee, she talks about this many times, and I think this whip has some hard feelings towards me only because it has sat and sat and sat, and it's not a happy sitter. I will say that because look what it's done. I haven't touched this at all, and it's decided to rebel against me. Here's my thought. I'm tearing it out, but I'm not going to be done. So, okay, this is the Ginger Mint Stocking by, who is it by? Ursula. I'm trying to think of her Instagram tag. I'll put it down here for you to know what it's called. So this is a stocking. It's fingering weight. I cast it on last year because I was inspired. We were having our fourth baby. I was like, it's time for some family stockings. It is super cute. Look at those little peppermints. And I'm excited to finish it. However, I think I need to tear it back out because this was my first go at corrugated ribbing, and if this stocking is hanging here like this, I guess I'm okay. I'm more okay with the rolling. What I'm not okay with is seeing my floats on the other side. I don't love that. And so I did look up some fixes for it, and the most hopeful fix is a different kind of cast on. What was it? A cable cast on? Maybe? So I'm hopeful that that will make it less rolly. So I guess what happens is I did a long tail cast on. What happens is that's a loose cast on compared to the corrugated ribbing. I hope I'm explaining this right and even understanding it right. But this is where my Google search led me. And that's going to help it not curl as much. Also, when I look at it, some of the stripes are harder to see than others, and I don't know if that's the fibers just kind of making friends with each other, or the red and the white, or if that's, I did the ribbing too tight, because like I said, it was my first attempt with ribbing. So I think that's why it sat and sat and sat, because I knew, I love how this bottom is turning out, but I knew I was like, I can't go on because I don't like what's going on up here. This is like, I don't know, but it's not what I was imagining, and it's not how the pictures looked, though it rarely is, you know, what came in the mail versus what was what was on the website. But no, the pattern's written great. It's just, I think, the ribbing and my first attempt at it. So for now, there it lives. Here's the front of it. So it's ginger mint, and it's going to be this really pretty, so I'm way up here, and they clearly didn't have problems with the ribbing. But yeah, it has really pretty, it goes from the peppermint down to some gingerbread men. I think that she gives the chart to do whether you want to do a little girl or boy, or you can do two or the other or whatever. I think my daughter just wants the girls. and then you go back down to more peppermints, and then down to candy canes. So I'm really excited to finish these. I have her other finger weight socks, enough to do 7. So everyone in my family is going to eventually get one once I can get the hang of this this cast on. So that's where we're at with this. I hope it understands, and I hope that it won't tangle itself further in rebellion. And I hope that it will be a very happy stocking living on our stairs. But for now, I have to say the best that it's going to get this Christmas is to be frogged. Sadly, it's not going to even become, maybe I'll play around and try to figure out the new cast on this Christmas, but I have too many other Christmas knits that I know I'm not going to even get close to giving it any hope of being a finished stocking this year. So I don't want to lead it on. It needs to know that it's just going to stay in my dreams as this beautiful stairway of finished family stockings. One day. So that is my first whip, and even though I have not touched it, like I said, since whenever the last episode was, I have in my mind checked the box of knowing what's going to happen with it. So that's good and bad that it's just going to go back into the closet. Actually, no, I'll put it in the yarn hutch once I tear it out and separate all the colors and bid it farewell. Actually, I'm going to show you this next because it was in that same Christmas bag. So I have another design on my needles, and this one was Christmas inspired. I have this really pretty, I'm not going to remember the name of it, Garnet Heather. So it's this pretty almost burgundy, but it's not even that deep of a burgundy. It's not going to show it very well. Kind of reddish purplish, but it's pretty. It's the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted weight, and like I said, it's Garnet Heather. So I had this in my stash, and I knew that I wanted to cast on another pair of socks after my pumpkin patch cabin socks because I'm having a sock obsession, particularly cabin socks because I just love wearing them around the house. Sometimes I wear them with moccasins. I just got a pair of boots for Christmas that I'm excited to share with you. Maybe I'll make another video about like what I wear my cabin socks with. My husband's least favorite thing that I wear cabin socks with are my moccasins because the moccasins with the taller socks make me look like George Washington. But I think that makes me want to wear them even more because it's just that goofy and fun. Anyway, this is my Christmas design that is coming to life. I think I'm happy with how it's starting to turn out. I think I have an idea of how it's going to end up looking as it goes down the foot, if that makes sense. But this is an unnamed design. Once again, it's just the idea so far. So I started with my cuff, and I'm just doing this simple cable twist, and then I'm sending it out this way to do like a basic globe cable, and then it's meeting back up in a little twist, and then it's going to go back out to a globe. And it kind of reminds me of Christmas ornaments, just kind of I'll do it this way, you can kind of see you've got the twist, the globe, the twist, and then I started the next globe. It kind of seems Christmassy in that it's simple. It reminds me of a simple Christmas. I would love to cast on a pair of these in like a cream color, just so you can see the cable a little better. This was just the color that kind of inspired the design. And then meanwhile, I just am working, so I've got like a row, I think I have 2 rows of purl on either side of however far the panel goes. There's 2 rows of cushion to kind of set it apart. And then the whole rest of the sock is stockinette. And I really love making socks that have some really pretty like detail in it, but I think I was going to say this earlier when I talked about the reasons I love the socks is I like having a really simple design with a pattern you can remember. So you remember every whatevereth row, this is what I'm going to do, or whatevereth row, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not at that point yet. I'm still needing to remember like exactly what I'm doing just because I'm still coming up with the idea. But what helps so much, I mean, it's not a difficult cable. But what helps so much is that you've got the whole back side of the sock to work with that'll eventually become the heel, and it's just stockinette, and so it goes so quickly, and you just end up stopping and then looking at the instructions and seeing what comes next. So I think for this pattern, I would be hopeful to have it released for Black Friday, which here in the US is the day after Thanksgiving. So I want to say it's like the 20, what is it this year, the 24th, 25th? Anyway, so that's the hope, is that this pattern can be released on Black Friday. I don't know about you, what you guys do for Black Friday. I do not go into any shops. I think it's way too crowded and wild for me. We do go pick out our Christmas tree and cut down our Christmas tree. So I thought this would be a fun time for anyone who's looking for Black Friday deals. I think I would offer it as like a coupon for the first weekend or so. But anyway, that's getting me in the Christmas spirit. But it is only October 31st, so I'm trying not to jump ahead to Christmas and just enjoy the season that we're in. So those are my socks. I'll link down below where you can sign up to if you want to be a tester. That would be really wonderful. I was very blessed to have awesome testers last time, and I'm just so thankful for you guys. So next, I want to share, let's see. I have so many things I can't show until after Christmas. Okay, I do want to share, I know I just said I don't knit sweaters anymore, but this is a sweater I am working on only because it's worsted weight, and that seems to be like my happy place is some size 7 or 8 needles. Let's see, what are these? Yep, these are 8 needles. So this is the Homebody sweater. I'm just going bottom up and working my way up, and just I'm doing some straight stockinette stitching now after a couple inches of ribbing, and I'm using Knit Picks Wool Viandy's worsted, same as I showed for the Garnet Heather. But what is this color? I want to say it's Grizzly Heather, maybe. It doesn't have any tweed in it or anything. It's not a tweedy yarn, but it's like rustic looking, but not feeling. I mean, it's 100% wool, but it doesn't feel scratchy. It doesn't have like pieces of things in it, you know, that you can tell sheep's been out in the field. So it's not like rustic in that sense, which is good for a sweater for me. But, okay, so this is going to be my first attempt at duplicate stitch. Duplicate knitting? Duplicate stitch? So basically, I'm going to make the whole sweater, go top up, do the crew neck, do the sleeves, and then I go over it in whatever color. I'll probably just do white, or like a, probably not a bright white, maybe something more like this, like an off-white, a cream. And you would duplicate stitch to right out, and it spells out Homebody. So I thought that was exciting and just kind of fun and different. It's something I had gotten, I think, from her shop last Black Friday, probably, and or whenever she was having a pattern sale. Well, yeah, I don't remember when that was, but so I'm excited to do it. It's kind of like a fun little twist. It seems like a really easy knit, like it's just stockinette stitching, and but it's going to be really fun. So one thing that's I find tricky about sweater knitting or any kind of like garment, which I guess is what makes cool, what makes knitting for yourself, or if you sewing for yourself, really cool, because you can like design it to fit your body. But one thing that I still struggle with is making a sweater or anything to fit my body right now. I am thin, I am tall, but I've had 4 babies, and I know a lot of people will be like, oh, well, you're still thin and tall. I have a really, I'm going to say it, we're just going to be real here. I have a really wrinkly belly, postpartum belly, and not just wrinkly, but I had a belly button hernia that had to be fixed. It's not a flattering area of my body. I don't like it, but we're just going to talk about it here and just talk about how hard it is to dress after you have a baby, because here I am, you know, pretty much same body type that I grew up with, but not everyone is like that. And it's not the same because I've got this, you know, Grinch belly that wants to stick out, and I cannot let myself wear crop tops because if suddenly my shirt goes too high, well, there's the wrinkles. Hello. And so it's kind of this weird thing I'm trying to learn also with my body and making sweaters is how to make it fit. Because I'm not a sweater designer at all. Like, that's new territory for me to even be trying to alter it to fit me. But that's where I'm at with my sweater knitting. Because you can take the biggest size and be like, well, this will fit. You know, this is what's going to fit around my bust, but I need to go bigger for it to fit around my tummy. Well, then you end up with this really boxy, weird shape. So I'm trying to get it right to have like a good drape, have it not be boxy, but also not have it like cling to my stomach because that's not flattering and it's not going to be comfortable probably. So that's where me and my sweater journey is at. And I thought this was kind of a fun way to do it because, like I said, it's just stockinette. I feel like I can kind of play around with it and see. Maybe I don't want just stockinette. I mean, I'm looking at this sweater and it has like texture. Maybe that's more flattering. We're gonna just kind of find out though. And I'm never gonna learn if I don't try. And so instead of just saying I'm never gonna knit sweaters, I need to just start with something really easy like this, and it's gonna be fun. It still will have the challenge of writing Homebody in the top, and hopefully I'll learn something along the way that will help me alter these sweaters to fit me better. And so that's where I'm at with this sweater. We got real deep there for a sec, but it's hard to dress for yourself whether you had babies or not. As we grow and get older, our bodies change no matter what. And so just figuring out whether you used to be one way and now you look like this and just, you know, what's gonna work is just an interesting journey to go on. But like I said, we make our own stuff, and so it's kind of cool that you can just adjust whatever's gonna fit. So that's where I'm at with my sweater. I think I have one last thing to show you. And that is another sweater, but like shrunken. So this, that now has a couple leaves on it, is a sweater I started for my youngest, James, and he just turned 1. It is the Little Alpine Jumper. I want to say it's the Little Alpine Jumper, or maybe just the Alpine Jumper. Now, what made me stop knitting this when I was expecting is that, 1, I think I was still knitting it when he came, so I wasn't knitting anything once he first came. But 2, I think the size for this, now, here's the weird thing. Okay, well, let me finish the thought. I think the size for this is 0 to 6 months, which is a huge range if you have a baby or you've knit for babies. A 0-month-old is way different than a 6-month-old. So, I don't know, that's kind of a weird range. I don't know, we're kind of reaching either direction. But I started knitting it and realized, well, if this is more like something that'll fit him when he's 6 months old, he's going to be going into summer, I better wait and not finish this sweater. Now I finished a thought and I had another and I can't remember what I was saying. If I was watching this already on YouTube, I could rewind and think and see what I just said, but it's lost. It's somewhere out there, but it's lost. So anyway, I didn't finish the sleeves. I am on Sleeve Island, and it was because I knew that it was going into a warmer time of year. He wasn't going to wear it anyway. I didn't know what size he'd fit into once he came back to being like 1 year old, you know? And so I kind of just let it sit and be this cool little sleeveless wool thing. And now I found it and I thought, you know what? I bet this will fit him. And if it's a little big and boxy, it'll fit over something else. For example, if we're going to go get a Christmas tree that's cold, he can just wear this over as like a jacket. So I have picked up my sleeves finally, and I'm knitting, and I don't know how long to go for. I need to hold it up to his other clothes. That's what I was going to say. I can't find this pattern anywhere. I swear, I promise I found this sweater and bought it and printed it out. I can't find the printout. I can't find a record of it in Etsy or Ravelry or my email. I don't know where this pattern is. I can find it on Ravelry if I were to like purchase it again, but it's not in my downloads. It's not in my orders. So I have no idea. I only knew what needles to pick up because I looked on the Ravelry page, and it said like 9 or 10 or 11 needles, and I think you probably use the smaller size needle for the ribbing, and then you pick up the bigger needles. Well, I only have size 10.5 DPN, so I just used those and hoped it was close enough. But I have no idea what I'm doing from now, so I'm just going to try it on. Thankfully, it's most of the way done. I'm going to try it on him and just figure out how long to make it go. And I can't even pretend that I would have kept notes for it because I have no record of the pattern. I was immensely pregnant and probably had major mom brain fog, and So that's my sweater. It's kind of a mystery. It's going to turn out how it turns out. And I'm hoping it'll even fit him top to bottom. He's pretty small. He's 20 pounds now, so we'll see how it fits. But thankfully it's October, and so I have all of winter. If it still is big, I cannot for the life of me figure out how this would have fit a 0 to 6 month old. I mean, like, that's a 1-year-old size. I could probably fit my 2-year-old in that. But it is what it is. It must have fit somebody's 6-month-old at some point, but mine is just a little peanut, I guess. So that's my project for that. Oh, I used the We Are Knitters Petite Wool, and it's just their natural color. And I'm gonna give an honest review. Would I buy this yarn again? No, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd buy this yarn for any project. And it's pretty. It looks really pretty. It looks really pretty in stitches, but it's kind of like those gigantic like arm knit blankets that you'll see in home decor stores sold for like hundreds of dollars. It looks really pretty, but to wash it and keep it clean is a nightmare. Even to knit it, like it wants to unravel like crazy. It's basically roving that someone lightly spun. But yeah, it felts, it pills. It's not great for baby knits at all, and it's not great for really anything else at all. So that's my honest review of it. I don't know if you've had any luck. I don't mean to snark on it, but if you've had any luck with this yarn, please let me know because it is beautiful. I just can't figure out what you would ever knit with this to make it worth the price and worth the time of knitting it, because it's not practical at all. I've not had good luck with it. And I've worked with the green because I had knit Lucy, I think it was, a baby blanket with this in the green and like the dark green. Felted, shrunk, but I've since made a video about knitting, like the ultimate guide for knitting for babies, because don't try to think that you're going to remember that you have a wool blanket and it does not go in the dryer, because when you've been up every 2 hours for like 3 months in a row, you're not going to remember that, and it's going to get shrunk in the dryer, and that's what happened. But yeah, even with that yarn, it was like, it's soft, but it's like you could do better for a baby knit. So that's my thought about this, and that's just all I have to say about that. I don't know. I really want to like it, and it's really pretty, but that's the idea I have, is I'm just going to knit and see how long I need to go for and try it on him, and I hope it ends up fitting him. So that's all I have to share to you today. A couple of sweaters, something I'm ripping out, and sock design. And so yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I hope some of these were inspiring. I hope you learned something, maybe probably something not to do. Learn from my mistakes. And if you have any tips about, what did I need tips about? Oh, knitting sweaters. Like I said, this is new for me. If you have any tips about like altering a sweater pattern to fit you, like, and when I say alter, I mean like you cast on a certain amount, but you know in a different area you need it to be a different size without looking weird. If you have any tips or resources, please let me know in the comments, because I really feel lost with it, other than just knitting and seeing what happens and seeing how it comes out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a wonderful start of, let's see, October 31st is going to be done when you see this, but I hope you have a wonderful start of November. And yeah, stay cozy. Thanks.